All right, what is going on, guys? It is time for another episode of the Chasing Waypoints podcast. And well, it's Sunday, 10 a.m. I'm actually pre-recording this. Truth be told, it is Saturday at 1:54 p.m. Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Let me close that out. All right, back on track here. All right, we are back with another In the Bivouac, and it is part of the Back to Baja series. We're going to be talking to Daniel Velasquez, Carrera 777. So, a lot going on this week. We've got this episode, we've got the interview. Last night, headed down across the border to check out the new spot, the rider spot, or Baja ADV garage, right located at kilometer 0 in Playas de Tijuana. So, had a lot of fun last night meeting Marco. Got a great shop tour. Video is live on YouTube. If you guys want to head on over to the YouTube channel and check that out. Great little spot. Got a little bar. Got a little restaurant. Food truck there. Full service shop. Love it. Place is absolutely epic. Could not have asked for better weather. Marco, always a great host. Great person to talk to. Again, the video is live on YouTube. In the meantime, though, we're going to be talking to Daniel Velasquez. Known him for quite some time. Known of him. Worked together some of the Baja races. I've just crossed paths with him. We did the show with the Baja Bound guys. Got a chance to talk to him there. Really good. Get a chance to talk and meet to him. That was again last year. That is going to be coming up again this year. So looking forward to attending that. I think they're going to change the venue this time around, which will be pretty cool. But yeah, so that's it. We got a lot going on. We got a lot coming up. You guys heard last week from Lizzie. We are going to have Daniel Velasquez this week, and then we've got Andy Kirker coming up right behind him. We've also got a few other guests. We'll check in with Lizzie again next week, find out a little bit more about who is coming up. But very excited. Lots of great episodes coming up already. It's absolutely awesome. I'm excited. Hey, we got Baja Rally coming up. You got the Sonora Rally School coming up after that. And then, of course, the one everybody prepares for. It is going to be the 2024 Dakar Rally. We've got a couple other rallies going on, but, we got our North America rallies. Let's see our North America rallies first. Again, Baja Rally coming up next. And we've got some other stuff going on. I've heard some rumors, some things. If you guys heard the episode with Todd Zacher, hey guys, he alluded to some of the stuff that is going on. So we got a lot happening in the rally world. I hope you guys are staying tuned. I got some stuff that I got to do on the 501 and get you guys the recipe. I think I finally perfected it. Get that bar mount stuff on there. Very, very simple. But with that being said, guys, that is enough for an intro. Let's get us over to the interview with Daniel Velasquez from Carrera 777. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's turn down the party. All right. So, welcome to the podcast.
Okay.
So, it's interesting. I was thinking, all right, what are the questions? Finally, I've known you for a long time, known of you for even longer. And I was like, where do we even start the questions and about, Carrera 777 and all your involvement with Baja and Night Rider and everything that you're doing. So I was looking at videos online and I figured it out.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you still are you still repping or still working with Liquid? I think it was Liquid Raider. Liquid Raider. The remote control handlebar water thing.
Yeah. Well, I worked for a while for that with that project, and actually I got to ride it, test it, I've used it and used it, but. Then after some bugs coming out of it, and then the owner wanted to sell the company. So that was kind of like a bummer. And then how I'm going to sell something there where I'm going to get the parts and stuff. And what if the guy doesn't sell it? Or I don't know. But, I went it was a very good idea, a very good product. But it had some issues, but if they would be perfected, that would have been a very, very good product, man.
Very good product, yeah. It seemed like it, and the reason was I know that the hydration thing is super important, especially now that we're getting into the warmer months. But that's just one of the companies that you work with. Who are you currently working with at Carrera? What are the brands you rep? What do you do?
So right now I have Fast House, Night Rider, of course, Flow Vision goggles, rigid lights, GPR stabilizers, ASB, IMS, Matrix Concepts, OGO Bell helmets, and just now, like a little boy with a new toy, I'm representing Kove motorcycles.
Ooh, now that one has been a hot topic lately.
I know, huh?
Yeah. So awesome. So I didn't, see, that's one of the things. Like I was just looking, like I know when I think Knight Rider, because you've been with Knight Rider. How long have you been with Knight Rider?
About 10 years, and actually that was the second company that came aboard on my lineup. I started as a dealer for Troy Lee Designs when I first started my storefront, and it was just a little storefront, and just I didn't have a fucking idea of what I was going to do, but I just wanted a little storefront and have cool stuff and have riders come and buy stuff and all that. But then I think it was on a mountain bike race or something that they had the guys from Knight Rider, and I did an approach, and then first thing you know, the owner comes and he's like, hey, we need a rep, and then to start doing something with the off-road stuff, because they were not doing it by then. They decided not to sell it anymore, and which was so super popular when I was racing motorcycles. When we saw Path to Glory, we all wanted to have the setup that Mouse McCoy had. So we all wanted to have the helmet lights and all that. But then they started, they decided not to sell that stuff. But then I think it was like in 2011, 2012 when they started redesigning all the off-road things. And I jumped aboard on Knight Rider since like the first days. And then, I started to, work hard to introduce the product, put my ideas, starting to getting more involved in Score International, and that's when they did the transition with Abelardo Grijalva, who entered there, and they, the change of ownership with Roger Norman. And then I started there to as an ex-racer, I wanted to get more involved, but in the organization. So I started working there as a tech inspector for the motorcycles for like a year and a half. And then that's when I started getting more involved with Knight Rider. And then we started like to go and put a booth and show the product and show it to the riders and all that. And it sounded like people at the beginning, it was hard. Now it sells by itself, but I had to do my hard work there. We had our stand like next to the banda people and the guys selling the T-shirts and the other guys, doing the thing with the ball and all that. So
not the best location, but made it happen.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, but who knows? Like, well, who would have known that now I'm next to tech, and I have a mandatory product there. So that's super cool.
And I was going to say,
hard work pays.
It does. It's hard to see in the future sometimes. But speaking of the hard work, you guys recently introduced something which, as far as safety goes and motorcycling, whether it's adventure or even off-road in Baja, you guys you just worked with Score on a new light setup, correct? The blue light?
Yes. Well, we started with red flashing lights, and we made them mandatory for motorcycle safety. And then each and every rider had to have one flashing light on their back for if a faster vehicle approaches behind you, they could see you. And they would know it's another vehicle or a motorcycle. But then the car guys, who are all kind of like very, very smart, and they would say, and they wouldn't slow down because they would think that it was another car because they would see a red light. And that was like that's why we decided there has to be like a nerfing rule. And then one day Andy was watching the car, and we see an incident with De Villiers when he ran over a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And that's when Andy calls me and then calls Abelardo. He calls Abelardo and tells him, hey, is there a rule for that? Yeah, but we need to change the color of the light. That's with the Class 11 and the slower cars for the nerfing rule. So Abelardo calls me, say, can we make this happen? And I called Tom Carroll, the owner of Night Rider. Hey, Tom, can we make this happen? And he's like, let me see. Yeah. So it was kind of like tension for a week or so, and then he's like, "Yeah, it's already done. I have a model here. Just wait one more week, and I'll show it to you." So I received it like a little baby, man. Nice. So I showed it to Andy. I showed it to Abelardo, and then. But before that, I told Tom, hey, it has to have all these specifications. This amount of light, amount of lumens, brightness, and has to have a DVF, like a daylight visible flash, which that stands for. And well, we came out with the right product, so that ended up being the safety light for motorcycle riders and quad riders for Score.
Nice.
So that's a very cool story, and we did it so now if a trophy truck is behind let's say an Ironman rider or a slower one, and now they see a blue light, forcefully they have to slow down. Or if not, they get penalties.
Well, that's good. I mean, the margin of error, I mean, between an 800 horsepower truck and a 55, 65 horsepower bike is not very big. So with a rider all tired, throwing bubbles and stuff, and then the guys in the trophy truck with a co-driver all fresh and all that, Yeah.
So
yeah. But I mean, I think that is a good, it's definitely a good step in the right direction. I think that it's going to become the standard. I've already seen it in a bunch of different racing arenas. You're starting to see more of that blue light for the slow car, which started in the car side. I believe even started, I think, in the UTVs.
Yes, that was the nerfing rule for the car. For the cars.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's good, that they're using that. I think that's really smart, and it's adding to the safety side of it.
Yes. And then since we did it, and then since Abelardo has been putting more attention on the bikes and putting more, since Andy hopped on board at Score and doing all what he's doing and all that, and he got me as his sidekick or something, and we come out with ideas and stuff, and Abelardo listens to us and help us out. Like the first thing we did with him is put him on the perspective of a motorcycle rider. So what we did, I called my friend Tim Morton and, hey, do you have a bike that we can borrow from you to take Abelardo riding? And then I called several companies. I got in boots. We got in gear. We set him up. okay, Abelardo, let's go ride. So turned it out that he's a decent rider. But we explained him about all the BCPs and all stuff, that the things that they were doing wrong, and not putting attention or emphasis on the motorcycle riders, and he got he got the idea, and right away he started to help out.
Nice. And and that's actually really interesting. I mean, if I'm thinking about it, and as this is happening, so if Abelardo really, turned out to be a good rider, as you're saying, and out of nowhere, so it wasn't like he's been a rider, a racer for years and years and years. Wouldn't that be? It makes him like one of the guys that shows up. We talked. We've talked previously to other teams, and these guys are guys that have never been in Baja, that are newer to riding motorcycles and then racing, and Score gets a lot of that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but turns out Abelardo did have a motorcycle, but the thing is, he had a wife, or has a wife, and that was
there's a little bit of a trade there.
Yeah, so that was the deal. He told us about it.
Okay, so undercover, he's a bike guy. He just didn't say it.
Well, he had a bike, but then his wife made him sell it. So that's the thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, but you know what, though? I mean, it's a good thing that you and Andy Kirker got involved and did that to show him the perspective of the bikes. And, I was the last episode that we had, one of the last episodes, we talked to Seth Barnes that came back east. His first Baja race ever, first time dealing with Score, and had nothing but good things to say. And so I think that there's already a direct, like, what you guys are doing, what you and Andy are doing with Abelardo, it's like it's having an impact already on guys that have never raced Score before, which is awesome.
Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah. I'm very stoked that we're making things happen, and everything's turning out great, and we love the sport. We always take care of the riders and do cool things, man.
Yeah.
And there's more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you've been doing, Carrera 777 is what, 10 years old, 12 years old?
Started in 2011. 12 years old.
12 years old, yeah. So nice. So you may have seen a few things. What? I'm sure. What's your favorite race down there? Do you have a favorite now that the whole Score International Series is down there?
Well, for me, one of my favorite ones is the 250.
Okay.
It's such a great race, and it's very gnarly, and it's the first race of the year, and always has more expectations. You're like waiting, you're checking out the new teams and stuff and all that, and it's kind of like one of my favorites. But of course, the best one is the granddaddy of them all, the Baja 1000.
Yes.
Which is, because you have everything. You start at night. It's this long distance, and all the things that get involved in that race is so mystical.
Oh yeah, I mean, in that, just being there, and then what do you think about this year? So this year is the first year that they're going to start it backwards, right?
Yeah.
The teams are starting. Is it La Paz or in Cabo?
No, in La Paz.
In La Paz. Okay, so they're racing from La Paz all the way back to Ensenada.
Yes. Yeah, backwards.
That's going to be...
Some guys say, "Oh, that's going to be tough because it's going to be an uphill."
Oh, if uphill is all you're worried about. And actually, okay, so thinking about that's actually a very interesting thing. So a long time ago, way back, many moons ago, we used to race 5/1600, and we raced the Baja 2000. And when we did that, there's a very big difference in the terrain of Baja California Norte and Baja California Sur. It's very different.
Yeah.
And
It's faster over there.
It's faster.
It's more technical.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. Now you're going to have riders that have been, fast roads, fast, getting tired, getting into the more technical stuff at the end of the battery.
Yes. So it's very interesting because, normally the first riders doing the start here from Ensenada, they're the ones that take all the beat up. Mm-hmm. But once they cross to Baja California Sur, it's all like, it's not that everything is like paved, no, but it's different. It's different kind of terrain, faster, smoother. Mm-hmm. But it's tough though. But the pace is going to be different. The strategies for the riders are going to be different, especially the guys that are doing like 2-man teams, 3-man teams. Old school. Not like baseball teams with 8 guys or something like that.
That's a good one. Oh man, I hadn't heard that one. It's like a baseball team. They have a starting lineup.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's changed. That's something that we, actually I had recently spoken to Andy Kirker about it, and there's a very big difference. And then especially when you have, like, I still every once in a while chat with Colton Udall. And he's one of those guys, 600 miles on a bike, in one shot, and that's, getting off in Loreto after starting in Ensenada, just these really long stints. So that's
then that's right. Well, they were taught they're with from the school from Bruce Ogilvy, and that's like the more old school that you can get, and he's the one that he started, like if you remember when Steve Hengeveld and Johnny Campbell would do it, but there's only 2 guys,
yep,
half and half, and that's it. And before that, but that's how they were taught, and that that group of badass riders that came from Team Honda, mm-hmm. they're taught like that by the master himself, Bruce Ogilvy.
Yeah. And that what's interesting one too is I've spoken with Steve Henchfeld before, and I remember him, and he was the night guy. He was the night specialist.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Which is absolutely crazy. And I've seen, my story with him was, favorite story with him was at one of the events that I was at. He came hauling ass through this whoop section and actually beat us to the checkpoint or the stop. And had to turn around and then comes back. And when I mean blew by us, I mean like 90 over whoops. I mean, just on it. And then he comes back and he's talking to us like he just ordered at Starbucks and is waiting for the coffee to be ready. And I don't know how they have that, like, that mentality, that the ability to process things that quickly and then not let the adrenaline get the best of them. But
no, I know Steve personally. He's a good friend of mine. Actually, thanks to him, I started racing Baja motorcycles. He introduced me to a lot of his friends that were racing Baja and other teams and all that. And when they needed like a ringer or some guy that would do these sections and all that, they would get me.
They would tag you.
Yeah, I was part of that gang, and that was super cool. And I learned a lot from Steve, and the one of the things of him that he has such a calm down. While he's like going 100 miles per hour, and he feels so calm, or I don't know. It's kind of weird that way that he is, but he's normal like that. He's like, it's like for him it's like a walk in the park, and he's going like hauling ass.
Yeah,
like nothing.
Yeah, I know. I can't imagine. It'd be fun to go riding with him, but I mean that at that point, I'm only going to see him for about 3 minutes before he's gone.
And I mean, he would do like a move called the hench move, like you were like distract or something, and he would pass you by, but stand like. Put the bike like super close to you and look at your face like this while he's like hauling ass and look at you, and then go like the road runner, man. like Speedy Gonzalez, man.
He just looks over at you to just check to make sure you're awake. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh man. So let's talk about your racing. What was the if they asked what was the best race, what was the best adventure you ever had, what would that be?
Well, there were so many, but I think the most, it was my in '09 Baja 1000. It was my last one, actually, after I stopped racing because I had an accident. But that was very cool because we won the championship in the sportsman class. I was racing with Jeff Leonard. And they gave me more miles than I was supposed to do. And the cool thing is the guy that was going to get on the bike for the finish didn't show up, so I did it to the finish and got to get to the finish and win the championship, man. So that was very cool for me. Nice.
Getting in, did you guys finish at night? Yeah. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I think that's the biggest thing, right? You getting into Ensenada, everything is dark. You know, it's nighttime and just this glow of the city and.
Oh yeah, and then when back then all those where there's like a lot of housing projects right now, and it was the outside skirts of Ensenada. It was all like little ranches and all that, and people or the kids would point you out to other places to get you confused, and you're riding at night. People, I see like guys getting like next to me and going, crossing over, like, and I see their numbers and stuff, and they're like lost and like they're like wandering and stuff, and there's like kids and guys like on with a brush fire, laughing their asses off and stuff, and then so. What I did, I decided, like, I stopped with the guys and tell them, hey, dude, mijo, I'm Mexican. Please help me out. I'm from Ensenada. I live on the land between. Come on. Oh, por allá, mijo.
Okay, so you pulled the local card.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey.
I even told, hey, man, I live next to the tortilleria, man. Like,
yeah, you're telling them exactly where, like, right here, this is where I live. Come see me. I will give you stickers, whatever, a shirt, just get me home.
Yeah, and they go, oh, por allá, mijo, por allá.
Yeah. But what's crazy about that is that's where the homework comes in, right? And that's I remember that the start, the way out of Ensenada then turns into the way back into Ensenada. I remember that. You needed to know that, like if you were driving home.
Yeah, because but the thing ranches. You could do it outbound, but you could never pre-run inbound. So that was the problem. So you would get confused, especially at night, So that's the thing, and they would take the arrows off and everything. And we're not riding with GPSs and stuff like that like now.
Yeah. So that definitely would make it. Yeah. So that's to say that now the sport has even gotten safer with GPS is now there. The Stellas, all of the tracking stuff that you guys are doing, the blue lights on the back of the bikes. It's come a long way.
Of course, yeah. That's like. It's almost foolproof. And then back then it was, you have to memorize and you have to do your homework, literally.
Yeah. Every rock, ruts,
stuff like that.
Yeah. Lines, and that's that's been a hot topic for a lot of teams, and, what lines to take and where you need to be in the course, and, conserving energy and riding, in an efficient way. And like you said, that's 100% homework. And there's no, even today, even with a GPS.
Well, yeah, the only difference there's more BCPs and stuff, and wherever you go, even if you pre-run a larger section, all the trucks and buggies are going to pass there, and it's going to be worse every day.
Yeah. What would you say is the for pre-running, right? If you're going to pre-run on a motorcycle, when would you say would be the best time to do it? A few days before the race, go a couple weeks before, or?
I would say when they open up the course, you go do it, and that's when you decide with your other riders what sections to take and all that. Mm-hmm. And then with like a week before the race, you start doing your sections and do your homework. Mm-hmm. But it's different now because back then you could take some creativity lines, mm-hmm. But now that's not permitted. But you have to go and pre-run the more you can. But the reality is that the cars are going to be, putting the course worse.
Mm-hmm. So it does it makes it rougher. So that's some good insight, and I guess, yeah, you're right. You want to go at least figure out it. It's going to change. The ruts are going to get deeper. The holes are going to get a little bit deeper. But for the most part, you have an idea of what the course looks like. So then okay, well, this guy is good in these kind of sections, so we'll have him ride that section, and kind of divide it up. And then after that, I guess it's you just try and do as many laps as you can right before of your section and do that.
Yeah,
so
and that gets you more aware and more in shape for when you get on the bike on race day.
Yeah, absolutely.
More trained.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it like in a truck. If you blew a corner, and okay, well, yeah. In worst case scenario, you hit something, it damages the truck. But on a bike, you don't have that luxury. So you need to be a little. So you can't be blowing corners. You can't just say, "Well, I'm going to wing it," because you could probably get away with 90% of it, but it's that one corner that you don't see, or that one place where you need to be on the outside line because there's a rock on the inside, is where it catches you out. So
and then you will end up like a Picasso or something.
The Gumby theory, right? Trying to see how many ways you can bend.
I know. But it has happened, man. You see, like some guys that they go and they take their risk and they go hauling ass, and sometimes they don't. They take the risk, but they don't train too much, or they don't remember, or they didn't do their homework, and that's when all those tragedies happen.
Or the worst part of it, and I've seen this in all racing, is the green flag syndrome. Everything is cool, pre-running, all of that stuff, but as soon as there's a flag involved, everything goes out the window. Everybody just pushes that much harder, rides over their head, you're supposed to be right on the limit in racing, but some people somehow figure it out.
But and then sometimes people have their ego, and then that's like something that Malcolm Smith said one time: ego is going to get you hurt. If you're racing and then you have too much ego, that can get you hurt, because if somebody passes you by, you have to learn, hey, that guy is faster than me. Let him go. Not try to push it, and maybe get hurt or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as I know, Baja is not forgiving at all. It's beautiful, and there's so much to see down there, and it's so easy to get distracted, and then next thing you know, you're on the side of the road. So it's definitely worth the homework. So we're talking a little bit about racing. I definitely want to talk about the Kove, because I know you and Andy spent some time on it. I know you're building a relationship with Kove and doing that. But before we get to that, I know there's a lot of people that are going to be listening that are interested in going to Baja and racing, maybe even just riding it. What's some advice if I'm a racer back east, from Canada, from somewhere else in the world, and I want to come race in Baja? Is there some knowledge, some tips that you can give us to kind of, hey, these are, you got to know this, you got to do these things? Is there anything you can?
It's always good to know what you're riding, your equipment, your machinery. Don't go over your head. Listen to people that already have done it or have experience, and listen to them. If you can, stick to them and go pre-running with them and learn more from them. And, and respect the land, respect the people, respect even the people organizing the race, and respect the locals, and also respect your surroundings and just take it easy. When you're pre-running, you're just pre-running. You're not racing, and don't go crazy. Don't come with a Rambo attitude and thinking that you're badass. But because people come like that and they leave crying on an ambulance,
Yeah. And I mean, and even though, and I guess that's a very, very good point. Is that it's not until race day that these roads and a lot of these areas get locked down. So anytime you're pre-running, even in the middle of nowhere, if it's a road, it's likely an access road to somebody's ranch, to somebody's home, whatever it may be out there, or it's a what's the crossover road from Llano Colorado over to Valle Trinidad. That's just how they get across to go from one section in. The road's beat up, but
from Vicente.
Yeah, and people use it. So. Yeah, it's a very, that's a very good point. If it's not race day, and even in race day, I mean, you still got to be looking out. But yeah,
but like people that are starting to come or want to come and all that, it's open yourself to anything, any advice from anybody, especially people that have done it. Open for that and be very knowledgeable and open for what you're riding. Your equipment, your safety, the safety of others, all that,
Yeah, know what's going on, and that's really good to know because aside from riding down there as much as you do, you've also done the tech and contingency, so you know about the motorcycles, what things to check, what are the what's the ins and outs. So I think that's important.
Awesome. Also, as an ex-racer, I raced several times and lived the dream and did it, and that was it. Yeah. It's my passion, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about it right now, and I think that anybody that's listening, playing the home game, that decides like, hey, I want to go down to Baja, then I have to get your information on the episode and all that stuff, so we can get because you're centrally located, in Ensenada. I mean, you're right.
Yeah. I have my office, my headquarters here in Ensenada. Near Delante Street, near the Highway 1.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. See, so that would be cool for people to stop, before they go down or whatever. If there's something missing, they need an extra something, or they forgot something, and not only that, but to stop and ask questions too. I think that'd be.
Yeah. So like, it's very cool because I normally don't open to the public. I sell wholesale to stores in all Mexico and stuff with the products. I have a small distribution company.
Nice.
But when the race comes, I kind of I do like a speakeasy thing,
Okay. Yeah.
All the riders, that they know, and they know that I have a little bit of everything. And then at the race, at contingency, I'm there taking care of everybody, offering prices for contingency from several of the companies that I represent and all that. Nice. I'm the only one giving love to the motorcycle riders at the races.
Okay. Nice. Well, and that's good. So, the way I see it is, support the people that support you. So, if you're out supporting the motorcycle guys or, anybody that's looking to go race Baja and all that stuff, to look you up at one of the races. I think that's it's definitely an important resource, especially with your experience. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Victor with the Chasing Waypoints podcast. Hey, super quick break in the episode. Want to talk really quick about Spotify for podcasters. If you are interested in getting your story out to the world, starting your own podcast, it is super, super simple. Head on over to spotify.com/podcasters and get all of the information. It is a one-stop shop. You can edit, you can do Q&A, you can do video podcasts, all sorts of different things in one platform. They handle all of the distribution for you, so it is super, super simple and effective. So with that being said, guys, let's get back to the episode.
Yeah, I'm always I always have the door open and the ice chest ready with a beer for all the riders, man. This is like if you're not fast enough, at least you can bench race, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to come and listen to some of those bench races. It's been a while. It's been too long since I've been to Ensenada. I don't think that's right. I need to get down there.
Well, enough bikes. Just let me know, man.
I know.
Just be careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Not responsible. I cannot be held liable for the...
Let's go ride first, and then we decide what to do. Ride, maybe if you want to check out the Kove bike personally and ride it a little bit, you're more than welcome, buddy.
Yeah. So that is a great thing to say. Tell me about the Kove. I'm trying to get everybody's opinion on the bike, and I talked to Mike Johnson about what he thought about the bike. I've seen the Jimmy Lewis reviews of the bike. I've heard so much. I talked a little bit to Andy Kirker, but it's your turn. You literally have one. And
so I'm the only guy in Mexico that has one. And actually, it's a rally racing bike that Mike Johnson used at the Sonora Rally, and then at the Nora, back to back, and finished. And then even in Nora, he finished third overall and won some stages and stuff.
Yeah,
he did some incredible things. So I got it since I'm going to tell since day one what happened. Mm-hmm. It was something kind of cool, and the way it went, it's just very funny because I was like normally like you and me and all the car freaks, we leave the TV on the night before the start to wake up and watch the start. That's the way I do it. Yeah. So I leave the TV on, fell asleep. My daughter was there, and then she kind of like woke me up with her snores. And as soon as I wake up, the start was there. And then first thing I see is weird bikes that were showing up with Chinese riders.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Oh, let me see. And then they got my attention. And from there, I got a gut feeling, man. So it was very cool that I started to follow them on Facebook and on YouTube. And I see the story of this guy that had the dream of racing, but he couldn't afford it. Kind of like identified with him. And then, he's living the dream now with his own bike that he made, got some riders, tested them out, and, and the bike finished and all that. And, well, next thing you know, I get in touch with Gary Goodwin, who is the importer for North America. Mm-hmm. And looks like, I introduced myself and all that and started to talk about it and all that. So he invited to the IMX Expo in Vegas, mm-hmm. It was in February or March, I don't remember. But the cool thing, it was that me, Jim Bryan, and Kurt Wheeler from Score, mm-hmm. We were planning on going and have a meeting with the guys from Mojo. So I go I'll kill two birds with one shot with this. Mm-hmm. So the cool thing, I got the invitation from Gary from Kove. So I had my badge that said Kove and all that. First thing, after I get there and all that, and the cool thing, and it kind of it was something that got into my mind very quick. It's when I saw Scott Harden, big legendary rider and all that, and big guy in the industry. Mm-hmm. And first thing he sees when I went to say hi to him, he sees he sees Kove, and he's like, "Oh, you're with them? Oh, cool, man. That's kind of like a prophet." Saying, saying good things about the bike, and then there's he was like a prophet saying that thing was going to be big.
Yeah.
So that's when I went wow, And so I went and checked it out and got more in touch with Gary and saw the bike for the first time, took pictures with it and all that. And I went wow, okay, cool, man. So next thing I know, there's this guys from mainland that call me and then tell me, hey, we want to know, or do you know somebody, or how can we get this bike? And I go fuck yeah, man, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
So I call Gary, hey, guess what, man? I already have one pre-sold. Yeah, sure, man. So that's when it all started, and then we started to talk more and more and more. And then when at the Nora race, so after we talked to a lot and all that, he told me, "Hey, Mike Johnson is going to be there. Please attend him and all that." So I go like right away, and Mike comes. He says, "Hi, super cool guy. I know him from years." And I go like, "Wow, well." Guess what? I'm putting my stickers on the bike. So, and yeah, like after the finish and all that, I talked more, and then Jim Ryan calls me immediately after they finish in Cabo, and he's like, "Wow, did you see about?" Because when we went to Vegas, I told them the story about the bike and showed them the YouTube video about everything, and they were kind of like interested, but they went like, but it's Chinese, okay. But now after all that they started to do, they go like, wow, we need to do something on the Score Journal, and we have to do something and start promoting it, and maybe we can get them to racing to Baja. Well, yeah. So first thing I did, I called Gary and I'm like, what do you think if we could have a bike for exhibition at the Score races that I can have them on my boot and have riders to watch and all that? Oh yeah, tell Mike Johnson to drop that bike over here and when he comes back, turns out that Tim Morton was coming back with it, and he left it in San Felipe at my friend's Stefano's place. So I had to go pick it up over there. And I'm like, Gary, can I ride it from San Felipe to Ensenada? Yeah, sure, man, use it. Yeah, and then go and then haul ass on it. Go through the highway and tell me what you think about it. So yeah, like I go like, and then of course I brought all my gear and all that because I knew I was going to ride it. Yeah. So. First impression on the bike, it's like it was all highway, and I thought that it was going to handle like a CRFX 450 or something like that, but then I go in like fifth, sixth gear, this thing runs like a street bike. You can go like 80, 90 miles per hour, like nothing on sixth gear. And you don't feel vibrations or nothing. That the power band is so smooth.
Nice.
And then I brought it to Ensenada with no problems. And, to remind that, or to think that it did the Sonora rally the whole week. And then the other week, another race, and got tortured and abused and all that, and ran great. So first thing I do, I brought it home, took it to the spa. Got all nice and clean, the Chinese, and then Gary sends me a list of everything that I have to do: change oil, check this, change filters, put new repack on the exhaust and things, and well, it ran like new after that.
Nice.
Only like, and I've been riding it through, like sometimes on Sundays or whenever I don't ride my off-road bike, I go and ride this, go to Valle Guadalupe, go do some trails and stuff, and have people to see it if I'm going to start. But the cool thing is when I got the bike here, and then Gary gave me authorization to have it and all that. Gary announced like, "Hey, now we have a dealer in Mexico. Danny Velasquez is this and that." So after that, people that were following it from mainland Mexico started to give me calls. So guess what? Right now I have like 10 pre-ordered.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's very cool. And I've been using it and getting more involved with it. And then we noticed when we did the testing and we did the photo shoot for me and Andy Kirker for Score Journal, we noticed something weird in the clutch. But we rode it. Actually, it was very cool. The police gave us a chance to ride in the dunes behind Walmart, and And they gave us permission. Hey, guys, go for an hour. You have an hour to go and do whatever. Okay, cool, man. So we got to use it and abuse it at the dunes, and it was very cool and all that. But we noticed something weird, and then we noticed that the clutch was kind of doing something weird on first gear. And after all that abuse, Gary sends me a brand new clutch. My mechanic goes and puts it in all that, and he takes the other one, and he's like, "Oh, it had some damage, but it wasn't that bad." But after all that beating, that thing is a work. So after that, now the bike runs great, better, and it's a war tank. That's all I can say. In the lower power band feels so. It feels like a little tractor. It can go through anything. Nice. How they're considering this bike is a lightweight adventure bike, goes to that new category, which is something new, something different. Because before that, there was rally bikes, but how much is a freaking rally bike?
You can get them down there because you're in Mexico, but that's about $30,000.
Yes, only a politician from if it was a politician or I don't know who, or Prince, I don't know, a Prince or something, I could afford it.
Yeah,
but now it's something affordable, and it's great for your adventure ride. It's at least better than an adventure bike because you can get in most terrain where you don't where on a normal adventure bike that you would need a lot of talent to go through there, and not too much people have talent. Now with this one, you have you are on a lighter bike. It's not that it's not that you don't have to be untalented. An untalented rider can ride it. It takes some distress or skills, but it's easier than a normal adventure bike. I don't know if you understand me, what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, and so that's actually, it's a question that I have for you. So for instance, I have a 790 that I put basically the rally kit on it. I mean, this thing looks like a Dakar bike, but it's still going to be right at the 400 pound, 415, 430, somewhere in there. I don't know. I haven't weighed. I'm curious to weigh it. I might take it up north to get it weighed, but how is the weight on this bike? Because I heard that it's a little bit heavy, and that's not a bad thing because I know that heavier bikes, like the rally bikes, you see how fast they go. It's actually the weight that helps them become more stable.
Yeah, because of the weight with including the gas with the 8 gallons, it makes it a little bit heavier, and but it's something that to the handling on it, it's incredible.
Okay, it's still pretty nimble.
It's a little heavy. Yeah, actually, I in some places I can ride it like my 450.
Okay.
So it's heavy, and then it's any rally bike is heavy. So
yeah, exactly. Well, and any adventure bike is heavy, but I think this one's not even. I think it's somewhere around. I can't remember the weight on it. I want to say it was like 360 pounds. So I think it's about as heavy as like a 690.
I would say it's lighter.
Yeah.
I think it was like 100 kilos, I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. They're claiming the 320 pounds. So no, that is okay. Yeah, that's lighter than I thought. I thought it was heavier. I thought it was closer to like 380. I mean, 380 probably with full tanks. I don't know, 8 gallons, 7 times 8, whatever that is.
Yeah, 150 kilos.
Yeah,
let's say around there.
I mean, actually, that's. God damn it! Now I got to sell my 790.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. That's the problem with the podcast is you talk to all these really cool people that have all these really cool things, and now it's like, well, maybe I could, if I sell this, finance that, open an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I know.
I'll have it in no time. You know.
Yeah, well, that's what some people are doing, man.
I know, right?
Believe it or not.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, what if I sell this bike and then get me this bike? Yeah, and then I have some money there.
Yeah.
So, and then I have extra money to go on a trip.
Yeah. Well, and you know, that's the interesting thing. So, I mean, like, okay, all right, so Gary dropped this bike off, and if you had what is there anything you would add, like, you know, pick up the phone, call GPR, hey, I need a stabilizer for this, call, I don't know, you know, somebody that does suspension. I mean, what would you do to this bike, if, you know, long term, to continue to ride it, to make it yours?
Okay, so it came with a Scott stabilizer.
Okay.
But I know, like, I'm a distributor with GPR, and I have talked to Randy, and as soon as the first batch comes, he wants to get a hold of one and do the clamps and everything, so we can put the GPR stabilizer. Mm-hmm. And then the people from Recluse already got on board, and they have a Recluse clutch for that bike. Okay. So a lot of our aftermarket guys are starting to look at the bike because they know it's going to start selling, but as suspension wise, it's very good suspension. And if you ask Mike Johnson also, what did we thought about the suspension? It was a stock one, the one that comes with the racing bike, and he said it's great. I kind of like at the beginning, you know, the way to handle it was kind of weird for me because it was something new. Mm-hmm. But then I got the hold of it, and like I could go through things and like with no problem, man. Like very, you know, it's a very good suspension what it has.
Yeah. Even the
light.
Mm-hmm. The lights. Yeah.
Even the lights, I saw this like kind of like bubbles that has, and it turns out they're like magnets, and they have like a very nice intensity light. And it's so bright. It's another technology, and I was like, and I'm a light guy, mm-hmm. you know, and I was amazed mm-hmm. of things that come with the bike.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's I think that's going to be the big thing. Obviously, the price is right. I mean, $9,000 for the adventure version, and then I think the rally version is like I just saw it. It's like 14, I think.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is that's huge, you know, for an $9,000 for an adventure bike, and it's already proven itself at Dakar, Sonora Rally, and the Nora 1000, you know, and not any one of those events is easy. You know, if you want to say that Sonora Rally is easy and you want to say that the Baja, the Nora race is easy, okay, fine, but you're still racing those miles. You're still beating the shit out of the bike. It's not like you're taking it easy. They're all racing.
Dude, we have had some Score veterans racing Nora, and they end up, you know, crashing or abandoning the race or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. They say it's the most fun race in the world, but I don't think it is. It's kind of tough also. There's no such thing.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were talking about earlier, is like, yeah, it's one thing to know, you know, it's once the green flag drops, once it's fun and games and everything, but then you start pushing, you know, it's the green flag and then it's the dust. I've raced before in cars, and I know what happens. You start to see dust, and you want to catch that dust, and then once you catch that dust, you want to get past that dust, and all that time you're pushing a little harder, you're braking a little bit later, you're accelerating a little harder, you're not slowing down as much. You know, there's a lot of things that go into that. You know, and so
and that feeling when you catch somebody and pass them, it's amazing, man. That's racing, and it's a feeling that we love, man.
Yeah, that ability, that little goal, that, you know, I got it, you know, on this day.
I'm gonna catch that guy. I'm gonna catch him.
You know, that's awesome. So, okay, so from what I understand, and I've been keeping up with Gary's posts, it sounds like the first batch of bikes is already on the boat on its way here. So
yeah, it's arriving on the last days of August.
Last days of August. Okay. Yeah. So
and I'm already been doing all my homework at customs and all that to import them into Mexico. All my paperwork and everything all dialed in and all that. So I'm just waiting and hopefully giving them or sending them to the customers very soon.
Nice. Yeah, this is going to be, I mean, this is great. I mean, I'm excited to see it because I feel like it's a bike that's proven itself. Like nobody was expecting it. I'm with you on what you were saying, that everybody was like, yeah, it's a Chinese bike. Yeah, it's this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's that, but all of a sudden a lot of people are saying this thing is good. And then things you can't hide, like finishing the Dakar, being competitive at Sonora, being competitive at Nora. Things you cannot hide are starting to prove that, okay, this bike is legit. Aside from the fact that it costs a third of what a
European bike,
an Austrian rally bike, and you could build one. I mean, yeah, if you wanted to get a 690, you buy all the kits and all of that stuff for it. But the bike is $12K, for a stock 690, 12 to 14, depending where you get it. And then you're still another $5,000 in rally parts before you even get to it.
That's like 20.
Yeah. 20, 25. Yeah. In a hurry, blink of an eye. And the bikes that you have sold, if we can know this, the bikes that you have sold, are they the rally version or are they the adventure version?
I think like 80% is the trail version.
Okay.
The dual sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I have maybe I have like two. I just got ordered 2 of the racing version. Oh no, I got 3.
Okay.
So I pre-ordered the racing version.
Okay.
So, but the rest is the dual sport.
Yeah. Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be, it's going to be huge. And then I already saw some news from the factory already that they've got a new rally engine, I think, that's going to be like 20 kilos lighter or something like that.
Yeah, a very lightweight motor they're developing.
Yeah.
I saw it also.
Yeah.
So, but what also we're trying to talk is with the same base or with that bike. Mm-hmm. Make an off-road bike or a Baja racing bike, with that platform.
Yeah.
But it's something that we're talking about. Stay tuned. We might have some of them racing in Baja soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let's see. What could you? Well, what's interesting? I the way I see it is they don't need the windshield. So I'm looking at this one. I'm thinking, okay, well, if it was like a hybrid of the dual sport version, that tower, that side, or unless you get rid of the fairings altogether, but keep the fairings, lower the equipment. Now you got real room for a Stella. It's not on the handlebars. It's not all crowded. Smaller windshield.
Yeah, maybe the 2 tanks in front might, they're gonna work.
Yeah.
They save you some pits, and maybe the rear gas tank, eliminate that and put something normal. Those old KTMs that used to race in the 90s.
Yeah. What I would like to, I'm gonna say it. I thought about it earlier. What would be interesting to see is somebody like Colton Udall on one of these in the 1,000. I don't know how the ties are with Honda, but that'd be interesting to see somebody, I don't know who you guys may have in the lineup, but that would be, or maybe Henge. I don't know. That would be
we already have been talking to a pro rider who is there in the top 5. I'll let you think about it, and if you buy me a 6-pack, I'll tell you next week.
Hand delivered, no recording devices, and a non-disclosure agreement. Got it.
Yeah, you come bench race over here, and I'll tell you more about it.
There we go. There we go.
But we're already kind of planning and doing some stuff, and then the customer. Actually, the first guy that ordered one is racing in Baja, also in the sportsman class, and they're waiting for their bike actually to fix it up and race it at the 400.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm just praying that nothing happens in customs in Newport Beach or something. I'm just praying that everything goes well and good timing and all that, and we might have some Koves racing the 400. So. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. That would definitely be interesting. It'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, that one's coming up, right? It's right. Baja 400 coming up in September.
Yeah, September 16 to the 18 or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I talked to Andy about that, and I got to figure out the time off at work, but so I can get down there and hang out with you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool, man.
Yeah. Do something a little bit different. Or I got to get down there. Maybe go right into the Baja or something like that. I got probably the 790. I don't know or maybe the 501. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes what we do, me and Andy, is we do like a pre-run thing. We pre-run run with with newbies or guys that are new to the race or to Score and all that. We take them do the start and we pre-run, and then Andy tells them all their pointers and stuff, and it's just something kind of cool that we kind of organized before the race. Maybe you can join us for that.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, something like that would be cool. Yeah, but man, I'm excited. I'm thinking, all right, some Koves racing the Baja races, doing some sprint racing. Be cool to see, a light version of it. Everything kind of stripped down and all business.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking about, and with riders giving me that advice. And once all this comes, we need to have the bikes first, and then from there get more feedback and brainstorm and come up with other things, other crazy things. And the sky's the limit. It's just the beginning. Right now I'm in a white canvas about to paint something big.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, with as much as traction as this bike is gaining, all the coverage on it, all of its results and how it's proven itself so far, I think that's going to be a big, it's going to be a huge ordeal. And then especially at a time where bike prices are absolutely crazy right now. The cost of even the cost of a used bike prices are even high.
I know. After COVID, a lot of things went higher, especially the motorcycles.
Yeah, anything that got to be imported, anything like that, everything kind of slowed down and dried up, and so now it's demand versus supply.
I know, and right now it's good timing also for Kove, between you and me, and that's kind of something that I think, and I kind of talked about it with Score, and it's good timing also for the company, for Kove, to introduce the bike, since no other motorcycle manufacturer is approaching to Score as a sponsor, or to bring their teams or their factory teams. And this is the opportunity for them to step up and start coming and step up to the game, and maybe the other companies would start to come back again and make Score Motos great again.
That's that's very interesting, because it's we know Honda's been out of it for a while, Kawai's been out of it, and they support privateer teams, the Yamahas of that, and there might be some grassroots support. I think Honda supports maybe more than others, and KTM as well, or the Austrian brands. But it would be very interesting if a manufacturer like Kove came in and said, we want to sponsor the series. We're willing to put this much money up, and then see how, and see how that, you kind of, what is it? The red cape to the bulls. A little bit of teasing there.
Yeah, like the torero, like a bullfighter. You put it in and hey, orale.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, well, we'll see. So
I'm just saying, who knows, man? But dreaming is free. So.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. So then it becomes to put pen to paper. So but it'll happen. It'll happen soon. So, all right. We got all this. We talked Kove, but just to kind of recap too. So Fast House, Bell Helmets, IMS, all of these brands, and then they can find you at the Score races. In contingency, floating around.
Yeah, well, I'm always at contingency at next to tech. That's now where they put me because, if somebody doesn't have the safety lights, I'm there next to them and they send them to me.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. Yeah. Well, that's a huge thing that you guys did for that. I think that's really big.
And then since if I'm there and all the moto guys know that I'm there and I always have something, and then somebody needs a drinking system or goggles or whatever, I'm always there, man, and I'm taking care of everybody.
Yeah, no, that's good, and I mean, and it's greatly appreciated, and especially with all of your knowledge, and because I know for some of these teams, and talking to Seth Barnes last week and some of the other people that I've talked to, it's they don't know, they don't understand. I've talked to a lot of guys that are adventure bike riders that want to go ride in Mexico, but everybody thinks that as soon as you get across the border, you get held up and you get kidnapped, and it's not like that.
Well, as long as you're hanging out with the right people. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, and that's very true. And it's funny. Anybody that's ever told me that, and I'm going, look, there's places in downtown LA or in San Francisco I wouldn't go at night. Why would I treat Mexico any differently? So
I don't know. And I tell them at least here in Mexico at the liquor stores, they don't have the anti-bulletproof glass and all that shit like in Compton.
That is a very good point. That is a very good point. I never actually realized that, but you're absolutely. I've been in enough Oxxos, I've been in enough liquor stores, and you're absolutely right. There is no bulletproof glass in liquor stores. There.
There's no guys outside waiting for you and harass you or something over there.
Yeah.
I had one time I had a very bad experience in Atlantic Boulevard in LA, so it was not fun. So, but I ended up there by mistake, waiting for a friend of mine, my friend Marty Gomez, and I ended up there and. I called Marty and hey, where? And he's like, where are you at? He was going to pick me up. I went on a bus, and he's like, I tell him I'm here in Atlantic where? Atlantic Boulevard. Hey, hold on, stay inside where you are. I'm gonna go and get you. He comes on the truck, and then. I'm coming for you. He calls me and I'm okay. Go outside, and I'm gonna make a U-turn and get on the truck. Dude, there were some African American guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot say the word.
Yeah.
But they were starting to ask me for dollars, and I go no hablo inglés, señor. And I'm all dressed in white with a guayabera, going to a 50th anniversary wedding party or something, all dressed in white. And they thought that I was making fun of them. Yeah. Dude, I go and hop on the back of the truck, and those guys are throwing rocks at me.
Oh, wow.
It was funny, man. Yeah. But it was scary. But then, now that I'm telling it was kind of funny. But that's how naive is a Mexican going to the U.S. and encounters all this. And sometimes Americans are not that naive because they know and they're afraid of fear, which is safer. That's my point.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. People forget that 3 blocks from anywhere in some of these neighborhoods here in the States is just as bad. I mean, you could be walking in San Francisco in one of the nicer areas, and literally the block right behind it is complete trash. You don't want to be there at night. So no different. It's just it's just unknown. So it's scary and we get it. But, the vast majority, locals, people like you, a lot of the people that are down there, when you know people, it's a very different story. It's a very different picture. And it's just so much culture and so many things to see. The food, what happened? I remember it was just tacos, just basic stuff. And now it's you've got these food places that you would never expect that are absolutely amazing that I would pick over any restaurant in San Diego any day. So.
And then you have awesome breweries, awesome wineries, like 5-star or even Michelin guys that have their restaurants here in Baja, in Guadalupe.
Yeah.
A lot of good options in downtown or in Valle, everywhere. And it's becoming like a gastronomic capital of the world.
Good. Not just the off-road racing capital of the world, but also the gastronomic capital of the world. Yeah. Oh, man. It's time to get back down there. It's the summer months, right? The Valle is not too bad.
May I twist your arm more?
I know, right? Even worse.
Manita de Koshi.
There we go. I got to try and get in. I got to get in line tomorrow for what is it, the Doña Estella's in the Valle.
Oh yeah, the birreria, the breakfast place.
Yeah, the breakfast place. Yeah, I saw Gordon Ramsay was down there recently.
Yeah, everybody goes there because, the other thing, some places are so expensive, and that place is very affordable. The breakfast is good and all that. So you go there, eat a lot, so that way you're not hungry all day. And you don't spend more money on the high-end restaurants. Yeah. That's how a lot of people, how they do it.
Yeah, exactly. You just get full there and then not, yeah. I guess you could say it's wise, and then the wine doesn't hit as much, and then the mixed drinks, and then the beer, and then, yeah.
You're right. That also could be a reason.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to it. Well, cool. All right. Well, all right. What else do we need? I think we hit everything, right? We got Baja 400. We talked Kove for sure. That's going to be huge. The Night Rider lights and all that you're doing down there. What you do with the Score organization. What else? What else do we have going on?
I think that's it.
That's it, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll get. I'm sure I'm going to run into you soon here at the. If it's not the Baja 400, it'll be before that. Come hang out, check out the Kove, and check out the installation there where you're at. And I don't know. Yeah,
you're more than welcome. Let me know when we can plan out something, and we can go ride. Actually, I think in August I'm planning to ride to Cuatro Casas.
Nice.
With guys on adventure bikes.
Okay.
Well, my friend Tim Abshire and some other friends, they're coming with their adventure bikes, and you might join us, and that will be fun. I will be riding the Kove.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, maybe we could do that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Señor, muchas gracias.
De nada, señor.
Yeah. So
un placer.
Un placer y ya. Hablamos pronto.
Órale, pues.
Awesome.
Gracias.
Thank you, Danny. All right. See ya.
Okay, buddy. Bye.
See ya. Bye. All right, that is a wrap for the Chasing Waypoints podcast this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what you heard. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and a bunch of others. Also, follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook under Chasing Waypoints, Instagram Chasing Waypoints _official, and of course, the YouTube under Chasing Waypoints. Hope everybody has a good week. We will see you guys for the next episode. Remember, shiny side up, and don't forget to tag us. We want to see where you guys are riding and what you guys are up to. Have a great week.